In today's video, we're playing around with hard shadows. Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to show you how to work with hard light and hard shadows, which can look really cool in product photography. A few weeks ago, I posted up a photograph on my Instagram, and some of you were asking, how did I make that shadow in Photoshop? And the truth is that that shadow was not made in Photoshop, it was made in camera. Yes, there was a little bit of editing, but the shadow itself was actually how it looked on the camera. So today we're going to do something a little bit similar. We're going to try and not replicate the shot, but we're going to do another shot in a similar type of style. And for that, we're going to need a couple of things, but we're going to try and do this on a budget. So we will try to use things that you already own or things that you can just find around the house. So what are you going to need? Well, you are going to need a tripod. If you don't have a tripod, you're going to have to find some way to secure your camera. But if you have a tripod, it is going to make your life a lot easier. Now, the next thing we're going to need is lights. Now, the photograph that I uploaded on my Instagram was shot using strobes, but we're not going to do that today. Today, we're just going to use a tiny little torch. Now, this is the type of torch that you need. Not this particular model, but it's something small. What you don't want is something like that because that's got a larger surface, which is going to soften the light. So the smaller the source of light, the better it is. I think this was about $2 or $3, but any torch that is small is going to work. And lastly, we're going to need something to mount that torch onto. I'm going to use a light stand, but you don't have to use a light stand. I'm just going to use a light stand and I'm just going to gaff tape it or use some rubber bands to mount the torch onto there. So anything will do as long as you can just secure that light so that it doesn't move. Okay, so just to recap, this is everything that I'm going to be using. I've got my tripod there. I've got a light stand in there, and I've got the egg, which is going to be my subject. I've got a piece of white cardboard, but you can just use regular photocopy paper. I've got my torch, and just in case I need it, I'm going to have some tape and some rubber bands simply to mount the torch onto the top of my light stand. So this is the setup. So yeah, let's put everything together and see what it looks like. Okay, so here's the setup. I've got the camera pointed straight at the egg there, and the only source of light in here is coming from that flashlight up there. I know that it looks bright in this room, but believe me, it is really dark. I've just cranked up the ISO that it looks so that you can see what's going on, but you'll be able to see that there are no other shadows on the egg except from the light from the flashlight. So that gives you an indication of just how dark it is in this room. Now, with the camera itself, that's the composition that I've got in there. And I should point out that I've got the camera set to a 2-second delay, which means that when I push the button, the photograph will be taken 2 seconds later. And that is to reduce any vibrations or shakes from me pushing the shutter button. The other thing to remember is you need to shoot at a high f-stop in here because you want you want to increase the depth of field as much as possible so that you can get the egg as sharp as possible and also the shadow. I'm not exactly sure what the f-stop is on this. I think it's about f16, but I'll put all the numbers up on the screen right now so that you can try and replicate this if you want to. So we'll go and take a few shots now and see what they turn out like. Okay, so we've got the shot and I've done a little bit of an edit on it. Nothing too serious, just a basic edit, but I think it looks really good. And it's a really interesting way to use lighting to light product photography. Those shadows look really interesting, and if you want just a different dimension maybe or a different look to your shots, maybe this is something that you could introduce on your photography. Now, if you enjoyed watching this video, could I ask you to please click the like button? That is the #1 way for me to understand what kind of videos you enjoy watching, which I take into account when I plan my future videos. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. I make videos like this all the time to help you with your photography. And if you don't want to miss out on any of them, make sure you click the subscribe button and the notification bell. That way you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. So that's everything that I have for you today. I want to thank you very much for watching, and I will see you on the next video.
I keep on running, no, I shouldn't want it.